Good morning, all boys and girls. Today we have to explain about the valuation of shares and goodwill. Last 3 years, we have known that there are different types of capitals, such as authorized capital, issued capital, subscriber capital, called up capital, paid up capital. But in become sacred and according to Shivaji City Kolhapur, here we have to know that how the price is determined about the shares and goodwill. Also in the 10th class, you know that about the goodwill, what is meant by the goodwill, how the price is determined about the goodwill. But in the become second year, it is most important part, that is the about the shares. Okay. First you know that about the shares, what is meant by shares, how the concept of shares we have to utilize in your business. I think you know that what is meant by the shares, but also I want to explain to you. Shares means it is a part of capital. When you want to collect the capital by the way of shares, then we have to sold your shares to the public, and public will purchase your shares. Then we have to collect the capital, which is important for the purpose of your business capital. Okay. In become second, most important part, that is how the price is determined about the shares. Okay. In your Indian country, there are two types of companies. First, which is called as the listed company. Second, which is called as the unlisted company. But in the unlisted company, there is a big question how the price is determined. But in the listed company, there is no any problem about the price determination about the problem. In the listed company, when you want to determine the price of the shares, first you know that one of the important reason when you are about the sale your business and you wanted to know your business value. It is the most important part when you want to determine the price of the shares. Most important thing, that is the valuation of your business, and without valuation of business, it is not possible to determine the price of the share. Second important part, that is the rank of the loan. Suppose you want to collect the capital by the way of shares, but in the rank of capital by the way of shares, we have to choose the source by the way of the bank, and you can collect the capital by the source of bank. Second most important part about the shares, that is the mergers, acquisition, reconstruction, amalgamation. I think in last year we have to explain. We have to try to teach amalgamation. When the minimum two companies are amalgamated at one place, then you are forming a new company, which is called as the amalgamation. And in this amalgamation process, we have to try to explain how the assets and liabilities are revalued. Revalued value means you know that the equity values, which is also called as the revised value, which is also called as the realized value. In this situation, it is most important part, that is the valuation of shares. Another most important part when thinking about the valuation of shares, that is the when any company shares which is converted into preference or equity. Most important part. Second most important part, that is the valuation is required when you use the employee stock ownership plan. In business, your existing shareholders will purchase your shares, then it is called as the employee stock ownership plan. Another most important part about the valuation of shares, that is the for the tax assessment under the wealth tax or gift tax. We know that according to Company Act 1956, also according to Company Act 2030, it is very important. Any type of business which is existed in our Indian country, how pay the tax. Tax, you know that it is part of the profit. We have paid the tax to the government, and it is the revenue of the government. So the most important part about the valuation of shares, that is the assessment of the tax which is under the wealth tax. Okay. Such types of reasons is most important when thinking about the valuation of shares. Okay. In become second most important part, how the price is determined about the shares. Okay. There are different types of methods in for the purpose of calculation of shares. In your syllabus, minimum 3 methods. When you refer the reference books, we have to see that there are maximum 5 methods. Here I want to explain all 5 methods to you. First important 3 methods, which is very important according to your question paper. First method, which is called as the data set method. I think in the last year, we know that in the dissolution topic, we are also preparing the purchase consideration, and under the calculation of the purchase consideration, we have taken the some assets and some liabilities, and the difference between these assets and liabilities, which is called as the purchase consideration. But in the calculation of the purchase consideration, most important thing is that we have taken all the assets and liabilities according to agreed values. Suppose in your problem, suppose in any types of business there are no any agreed value. In this situation, we are consider that book value is equal to agreed value. And Also, the same rules applied to the liabilities. Some aggregate values of assets and some aggregate values of liabilities we have taken in the some purpose of the calculation, and the difference between which is called as the purchase consideration. Okay. Uh, with the help of this purchase consideration, we are trying to calculate the valuation of shares according to net asset method. But before the studying the net asset method, also another methods, it is most important thing that there are different types of approaches to calculate the market value or valuation of shares. First is the asset approach, second which is the income approach, third is the market approach. These three types of approach is most important when you want to calculate the calculations of shares in your syllabus. I think three types of approaches we have to study under the valuation of shares. In the first approach, assets approach. According to this assets approach, we have taken all assets and liabilities in the purpose of calculation. And when you thinking about the assets, same formula, same rules and regulations which is under the resolution. When we are taken the assets, according to some aggregate values in certain situations. Suppose there are no any aggregate values. In this situation, we are taking the book values, and book values is considered as the aggregate values. Okay. Also, according to liabilities, there are given some aggregate values. According to liabilities, we are taken these aggregate values for the purpose of calculation. Suppose any liability we are not given in aggregate values, in this situation we are taking the book values, and we are considered as the book value is equal to the aggregate values, and the difference between these two assets which is called as the net assets. Okay. According to these approach, we have taken some assets and some liabilities. We have taken the aggregate values of these assets and liabilities in certain situations. Suppose not any aggregate value given regarding the assets and liabilities. In this situation, we have taken the book value which is considered the aggregate value, and the difference between these two figures which is called as the net assets. Okay. These net assets means net assets available to the equity shareholder, because you know that the equity